Go ahead, Bill.
All right, welcome back. It is Thursday. We are at episode 8. No, I cannot talk with that going on. Episode 8 from No Worries Brewing, the Hammock Life. How's everyone doing today?
Pretty
Beautiful.
So I have a critique of last night's episode. We totally forgot to tell everyone we're also an audio podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Find us on
Yes.
Spotify, Anchor. I might be live on iTunes by now. I haven't really checked.
We'll probably have an update on Friday
That's
for
what
sure.
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
cool.
So here we are. We're going to talk about some stuff and drink some beer. What's everyone drinking? Julian.
No,
Nothing.
we
haven't
open
opened
them first.
yet.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Kaplooey.
Now what the fuck you drinking?
I am drinking Double Dubious by our friends at Bad Sons Brewing Company out there in Derby.
Double Doom. I'm doing a Cog Ale by Norbrook Farm Brewery. Because you got a couple when you're up there, right?
Yeah. I have a 32-ounce growler that I was going to bring for myself, but that's a lot of beer to drink in like 20 minutes.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I have our Evil Penguin, No Worries Brewing, that we canned a whole shit ton of today by hand because we're running low on crowlers at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So
is the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Fresh-
Thanks for
freshly-
buying all our beer.
freshly hand canned.
I think
That's
that was
true,
yesterday
that's true.
too. Actually, you guys can that. You guys.
Yeah, we got more today too, though.
We got
Yeah.
more. We're just canning
Mhm.
lately.
Canning machine
Canning.
I helped by bringing my canning machine
and the beer gun.
and the beer gun.
Yeah, they're doing it one by one. It's kind of impressive, actually.
The ends go. No.
I don't know if impressive is the word, but it's definitely something.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And I'm drinking the Banana Hammock, a Belgian-American wheat from Center Street Brewing Company up in Wallingford.
Banamic.
Banana Hammock.
Should be a banamic.
That's what I'm wearing, by the way.
You don't wear a banamic.
A banamic.
Can we get that as merch?
I have a screen press.
Only if you call it banamic, though.
Oh, we'll trade.
A
it.
one size fits all. It's most banamic.
Bill, are you living the banamic life?
Always.
Hashtag banamic life.
No.
Oh.
I protest.
Why does this beer taste like coconut?
Because
Well,
It's got
'cause it's
coconut in
yeah.
it.
odor. If it tasted like jelly beans, we'd have a problem.
Yes, we would.
What if it tasted like toasted coconut jelly bean though?
Uh,
It would be Kevin's fault because he's seen the cans.
on the jelly bean note,
I
I was
do nothing.
gifted beer flavored Jelly Bellies for Christmas.
Were they good?
No, they were not.
That's kind of disappointing.
They're also jelly beans, so they're terrible.
Yes.
Whoa.
Jelly beans are the worst.
Yeah,
Jelly Belly, jelly
beans
beans
are
are
No.
not a good candy.
There is one good variety of jelly bean. Starburst jelly beans.
Yes.
Which it's Easter time,
Never
and they
had
are
them.
in the store. They're cash money, Bill.
Cash Money
Cash
Millionaire,
fucking
like
money.
that band that used
Yeah.
to.
I'm actually upset at myself that I haven't bought any yet. I know what I'm gonna break quarantine to do tomorrow.
They just taste like sugar. I don't care what they taste like.
Have you seen me? This is
Yeah,
what
I
I do.
That's a good point. I don't really enjoy candy to begin with, so it's.
Yeah, like a
I'm
whole.
I'm a tough sell on
like a,
it.
like a whole bag of jelly beans. I can see you now. Like you're at like 3 and like, all right, I'm happy. You know, like
But Bill, you're always
Where's my steak?
You're always maybe that's why you're always perpetually tired. You don't have enough sugar in your bloodstream to energize you.
do you see the kind of food
I'm
this
not
guy
always
eats, man?
tired.
He's
I'm
like he's like a hobbit. He's got like first lunch, second lunch, 15th lunch.
Well, what they
Kevin-
don't know,
Kevin's
what they don't
not
know
wrong.
is Taco Bell marketed fourth meal after Bill.
My favorite is when he forgets to eat his lunch and he's like, I have 2 lunches today, and he eats them and then still hungry.
He's making up for the lost lunch yesterday, Kev.
Law of averages.
Yeah, he's like, well, yeah, my body needs it eventually.
I am a growing boy.
All right, Bill, why don't you get ready to spin that
Yeah,
wheel?
so we're
while
doing
I
the
make fun of you.
we're doing the wheel of hot takes.
And
You
for-
want some background
through the
music?
magic of
Yes.
Camera Studio, I'm going to switch to the wheel. Kapow.
That was amazing.
The keyboard was the greatest addition ever to the podcast.
Somebody's gonna get replaced by the keyboard. I'm not sure who yet, but one of us is totally getting replaced by the keyboard. It just sits in Julian's seat for some reason.
It says something about a treasure chart. I don't know what that means. What is a treasure chart, Julian?
You get them in Zelda.
So what it says is, flights should die in a dirty dumpster fire.
That's
Yeah.
very descriptive.
Who wants to start?
Well, it's your hot take,
That was my hot take. I am the one that suggested that one.
Yeah.
and you read it.
I don't like flights. I don't like flights at all, both from the consumer side or the bartending side of things. I don't like flights at all. I feel like they do the individual beers no justice. You're drinking way too many different varieties too close to one another. I just don't like them. I think they're dumb. I think flights are dumb.
That's a sound. That's a sound argument if I've ever heard one.
In communique.
I mean, I've got more to say, but
We'll keep going. Hot take.
well, no, let's get a conversation going.
I want to hear your rant.
I like flights from a consumer standpoint. I
Why is
do
that?
like because I like to try different beers, and I don't often
So why
get.
not just order different beers?
Well, because then I have to drink 4, and that's slightly aggressive sometimes.
Yeah, but most places offer short pours, so why not order one short pour, drink it, enjoy it, drink the entire thing, let your palate do its thing, and enjoy that beer for what it is, and then move on to the next.
Well, that's how I drink a flight.
Okay.
Well,
you're in the
You are,
minority with that.
and this is one of the counterpoint. Well, one of the agreement points I was going to bring up for Bill is your average consumer does not consume a flight in the proper way.
Okay, well, why can't we educate them on how to properly consume a flight?
Can I finish the thought?
Julian,
what
give
I
the
mean,
man a minute.
What I mean by
Okay.
that is, as a consumer, the way you should consume a flight is to drink the entire beer, then the entire beer, then the entire beer, and more often than not,
And as presented.
as presented, because that's the way it's going to help your palate not blow it away.
I'd even go as far as
Most
say
people
to
just-
have a little water in between each one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mo-
water's
most
always
people
good.
just go through and it's like, oh, there's 4 beers. I'm going to take a sip of each one. And therefore, after I've had that super double hoppy IPA at the end, that blonde ale I was having at the beginning now tastes different than it did. And they just don't do it right.
And this is not my hot take, just adding to what you're saying. Most people, no matter what you tell them, always do it backwards. Like,
Yeah.
oh, drink this one, the blonde ale, finish with a double IPA. And they're like, well, I want the double IPA now. It's
Yeah.
like, well, then just get the double IPA.
Well, that and
Yeah,
you
and,
know,
and that goes on to what Julian was asking, like, why not educate them? I know when I'm bartending, I definitely
Yeah,
try
I
to
think most
suggest.
Yeah,
breweries.
absolutely.
Well,
But-
no,
I think we
actually,
even have
I
'em-
don't think most breweries educate, because if you go to places, especially outside of Connecticut, which I have done a lot of in recent years, you go and you order, and it's just you fill out a card with whatever 4 or 5 beers you want, and any order they don't give you any information as to the
right.
order you're
I-
gonna.
I've seen
you know,
that
you're
before,
picking
too.
from a board of 20
Yeah.
beers. You pick
Right,
out
right.
5. If you're not educated enough to know the order to
Right.
drink,
You start with
those-
their super sour or
Yeah,
whatever, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
I can't taste nothing after that.
Exactly. So I think people tried to educate the consumer, and it was a failed effort.
So, my take on this, I'm not going to disagree with the things you're saying. I think there's twofold. One, I think that flights they shouldn't necessarily die in a dumpster fire, because
Yes,
I think
they should.
I just
It was a dirty dumpster
Dirty.
fire.
oh
dumpster
sorry,
fire.
not a clean dumpster fire, because all those clean dumpsters out there, by the way.
I mean, when they're new.
But nonetheless, my point is this. I think a lot of flights that I see, there's two of them I see, right? At least here. You get the people who want to try your new stuff. Like, you come out with 4 new beers in the last 2 weeks. You're like, all right, well, I know your normal selection. I haven't really tried your new stuff. Let me just grab a flight. Let me support rather than doing a small sample, which we don't care. We'll do the samples for free, no big deal.
Right.
But sometimes people just want that, or they're sharing it with their significant other, like Mug Club members. I see that happen a lot.
Not right now. They're not.
It's fair. So this is actually, they already did burn a dumpster fire. So that's one I see a lot. The other one I see a lot are the uneducated, new to craft beer. And that's nothing against these people.
Right.
New to craft beer folks. So I think realizing that they've just opened the floodgates to the world, they're going to drink wrong. They are going to be, it's just, they're not going to do it right.
Yeah, and I think from my side, I'm not too worried about people drinking them wrong or not, as we
Just don't want
suggest.
to pour them.
No. No, I just want them to sit and appreciate that beer for how we crafted it, enjoy it for what it is, whether they like it or not,
Right.
but then move on to another one. So I
Right.
think if you're not going to offer short pours, then yeah, offer flights at your brewery.
Right.
But in lieu of a flight, you should offer short pours and just
Well,
one
I think
or the other.
I think it's what you're seeing the market go to now, too. To your point, is short pours are not like anything necessarily new
No.
but they are new from a broad perspective. Like, I mean, I remember going to Virginia. That's the first time I ever saw short pours, to be honest, was in Virginia, at a brewery anyway. And almost all the places offered you a short pour rather than a flight. You could do a short, a 2/3, or a full, more or less. So you could choose your damage and or, hey, I just want to try a 2-ounce pour. Let me just do that, or a 4-ounce pour.
You can get really crazy and order a 64-ounce growler, then sit at the bar and try to drink it.
Not in Connecticut.
I know. That was why it's happened, and it scares me.
Yeah.
But
I've seen it.
I guess that's my
quite a
stance,
few
though,
times.
is like I think they're not dumb, only from the fact of what the purpose is. I think that people that don't follow it, like, I don't disagree. I don't want a flight. If I do, I'm sharing it amongst probably the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Not during the Corona times, and we're going down the line just because we've never been to that brewery. And realistically, I know what style I'm probably willing. If I'm driving, I know what style I'm willing to drink. It's going to be a lower ABV thing, but I want to try what they have to offer, and I appreciate good beer, regardless of what I want to drink. So a lot of times it also gets me into styles that I necessarily wouldn't have ordered. You know, be it just a one-off that they're fans of as brewers, or just something I'm not feeling at the moment. Like if I play disc golf, I'm not looking for something necessarily stupid hoppy, but I'll still appreciate that. So I think that's where the value personally comes in. But by myself, I'm just going to order a pint.
Yeah, no, and I could see that. I could see all those points that you made about it. But I think overall within the industry, they could easily be replaced by short pours, serve the same purpose, and just be a better representation of the beers for consumers.
I'm curious what the people. I mean, not
Yeah,
that
I'm
I'm like
curious what
trying to
people
promote it.
think.
We always do it, but I am curious. Like, if we do get a few comments, I'm just curious what people do. Like, and don't take it for your hometown brewery, which is probably a little bit more skewed from, especially from somebody that's into the beer. But like, hey, you go to a new area you've never been to, or just a spot you've never had time to really sit down and actually drink a few beers from a couple breweries. What's your approach, right? I'd be curious to hear from like a generic customer, what they feel like their approach would be. Would they? I just want a pint and chill.
Yep.
Or shorty, or do I want a flight? You know,
Yeah.
do I want to be all in on that flight?
And also, too, to add to that a little bit, too, on the sampling side of things, if you do want to try a few, if a few of those short pours are similarly priced to what you would get a full flight for all at once, what would you rather have? Would you have that one at a time, or do you want all 4, 5, 6 of those beers, depending on what the brewery offers, all at once? So they're sitting there kind of maybe getting warm while you're enjoying one. Who knows?
I like my beer warm.
Well, so do I. I mean, a lot of people don't, though. I like my beer getting warmer as well. But my father, for
Just messing with
example,
you.
puts fucking ice cubes in beer when I give it to him. So,
Monster.
you
Do
know.
you then punch your uncle?
So
No, my
one
father-
No,
thing,
your father. Do you then punch your father?
No, my
That's
father,
even worse.
my father will punch me back.
as a side note, I mean, as we're sort of like as a side conversation, one thing that I do notice when it comes to like flights in the ability, man, what was I going to say? Damn it.
Well, I can give my
I just
take on
lost
this,
it.
and
All right,
maybe it'll come
I
back.
completely lost it. Wow,
So-
I'm the worst.
So, as someone that likes to travel and visit breweries quite frequently, normally during a week in April, which won't be happening this year, I am a fan of flights, mainly because I am usually the one driving. So I want to sample 4 or 5 beers and get like an experience from that brewery.
Right.
However, what I would like to see more of, because I don't think it's done enough, is more curated flights.
I love that you're going this way because this is literally what I was about to talk about.
Yes.
So
like if you
we
go,
scripted this.
no, we did not. I am for a flight, but as someone that is new to the area and has never been to your brewery before, I want you to tell me what brewery experience I should be having. Like, these are our 4 or 5 flagship beers. This is the order you should drink them. Heck, give me a little card with a story about the beers that I can learn about.
Can't read.
I can read sometimes at a 4th grade level.
I kind of like that
Tahiti?
idea,
Yeah,
actually.
like-
So rather than a choose your own flight, you have a set. This is brewer's choice flight.
Well, this is like and Two Roads used to do this. I don't know if they still do because I haven't ordered a flight from Two Roads and I can't tell you how long.
I think their sheet, I believe, just gives you a suggested flagship.
They used to have, back when it was just 5 flagship beers, you could order the flagship flight, Like
Right,
at one point, they even changed their flight boards to have 5.
Right.
So to mimic that, and you got to drink their 5 flagship beers that are always available at the brewery, where you can say, "Hey, I know if I come back here, I can look forward to enjoying these beers."
All right, so
And
I'm on board with from that perspective.
I think it's because as a casual consumer, I might come in and get a flight and get that pilot batch double IPA and never be able to have it again. So the next time you come in there, you'd be like, "Oh, I want that beer," but it's not there. As where if you have that flagship flight, you can reference it and say, "Oh, I had this last time." It actually would help the people serving you the beer too.
So I think that from a server standpoint, that alleviates my issue of, say we're busy, someone comes in, doesn't know anything about the beer at all. They're asking us, as they're trying to pick out what 4 they want, they're asking us about every beer. Oh, what's this one like? Oh, what's this one like? And you're trying to juggle that with other customers at the same time, but having something like that where it's...
I can't juggle.
Especially when you're not holding things to juggle.
I mean,
was air.
So, like I said, I have issues with flights from both the consumer and
issues.
end
of statement.
from both the consumer and the server side of things. But something like that would kill my issues from the server side.
So I was just going to add to this a little bit. So what I was going to say, I guess a different angle, is what we were saying earlier a little bit, as well as what you're saying now. So earlier, I know you said that, Bill, as well as probably everybody else here, there's confusion when it comes to flights. Part of the confusion is because we have all unique identities. So, like, when you come in, you order a flight, you don't know what that means. It could be 4, it could be 5, it could be the entire board, it could be
You go to Wisconsin.
3-ounce pours, it could be
There's
7-ounce
a place in
pours.
Wisconsin where you order a flight and they give you one of all 30 beers on tap.
Right. So, I mean, the confusion's there, right? So then to add another layer of confusion, which I'm not against, like, I'm not saying it's bad or good, is there are these prefix flights. And a memory I had, this is what I was trying to talk about before, but I'm dumb. Uh-oh. Bill dropped the thingy.
Hi, guys.
Which is, I went to Harpoon. I don't know if you guys have been to Harpoon before, the one in Vermont. I've not been to one in Boston, but
Neither have I. I've only been to Vermont.
the Vermont one, that's actually where my dog, I adopted her right outside there. It's been love ever since. But I remember being there, they offered 3 prefix flights. One was out because they kicked one beer, so they couldn't offer it anymore. But the 3 so that's a downside of sometimes having a prefix flight. But they offered their flagships, which were like 4 or 5 beers. I don't remember how many. They offered their like spring seasonal blah blah blue beers.
What's a blobbity blue beer?
You know what
I
that
want one.
is.
Let's brew one.
I
It's got
understood
some
'cause I
blobbity.
speak
It's
Kevin.
got some bluebity. and it's got some beer.
I speak Kevin, so I understood what he was talking
Blobbity
about.
bloobity.
And they had like another version, like another one. Like there was like maybe it was like light spring beers, and it had like whatever, something else, IPAs or something. I don't know. But they all had different beers. They also have a lot. Harpoon has a lot of beer on tap, so they usually have about 20 beers on tap at least. So they're able to offer at least 3 different variants of these. So it was unique and similar to what I said, like our regulars come in, right, and want the new beers. So same idea, you're offering that spring flights. In theory, those are your new beers, right? So I do see the benefit, the reward of offering that, especially when it comes to regulars. The downside is maybe, I mean, if I like, this is epitome of a lot of things. I like IPAs. I only want to try your IPAs because I want to see where you stand. Because just because your flagship is Do-Si-Do doesn't mean I like Do-Si-Do. Maybe I don't like Mosaic for whatever reason, or I don't like how you used it. But man, I love the Boned IPA right now, or your Hush IPA, and that's my thing. If you only offered it in your seasonal and I didn't try the other ones, I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm not saying that you couldn't just get a pint of it, or but so the other flip side of it, which is a challenge, and I think that was sort of what you were implying, Bill, as well, is that a lot of times, at least here, and I know other breweries do it as well, we try to get people into the right flight, right? So, hey, what do you drink? Like, if someone doesn't know, we have descriptions, we try to help them out, like, what are you known for, whatever. But if someone's like, all right, tell me what you want, and that's what sort of Pat was saying, like so it's a little bit more manual. And I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it all the time, but sometimes you make the strongest connections with people not only to explain what you're doing as a company, because we all have a different approach. Yes, we're trying to make good beer and we want people to buy it, but what are we doing differently? What are we doing that it's about us? So I think that the conversation sometimes goes longer than a prefix.
Yeah, that's true. It is a very, very easy door to open to start conversation with customers.
If you come to the bar and you're like, oh, well, what should I get? I'm like, well, what do you like?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I like light lagers and easy drinking beers. Like, oh, I can get you 4 beers right now. Let's do this.
Luck of the draw for me, though. Customers only want to have those conversations when we're swamped. When there's only 4 people here, they just want to be left alone. They don't want that conversation.
They're like you.
It's just my
They just
luck.
wanna be left alone.
It's just my luck. But yeah.
No, I agree.
I definitely agree.
Operationally, sometimes it's a pain in the ass. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I get it. And I also don't disagree with people don't drink it right. It also doesn't do the beer justice. You start with, like last episode we talked about triple IPAs. You start with a triple IPA and you work your way down to even a pale ale. Your palate's still tasting the triple IPA. I don't care what you're like, oh, these all taste phenomenal.
Right,
You're still tasting that first beer, man.
Right.
Unless you had a snack between, drank some water. Even then, your palate's still probably shot.
Right.
I mean, I'm not like a Cicerone or registered person, but I know when I drink something that hoppy and that overwhelming, my palate is destroyed, right?
Yeah, I noticed that people tend to waste flights a lot too. That's when I wish they would have just ordered a short pour. I mean, on one hand though, they paid for it, so I guess it should.
Yeah, but who wants waste though? No one wants
exactly.
waste.
Yeah, but I don't like seeing that waste regardless. Like you get people that will just try half of each one and then just leave them.
Do you think people waste their flight because they didn't drink it properly and they went back to that beer and didn't like it?
I've seen
It's a possibility.
I've seen both ways.
Most of the time when I
You didn't
see
say that way, but I said both.
people who have wasted them, it doesn't seem it's because they didn't like the beer. They're not big drinkers in general, so that's why they didn't know what they should order. They got a flight and they just had a little bit of each one, and they're like, okay, I'm done. I've had enough. I've never seen anyone be like, I'm not drinking this. This is awful.
Sometimes, but like, but usually that person. A lot of times I've seen two normal wastes are. Wasn't this past weekend because we can't be open, but it was the last few weeks. Whatever one of our last weekends we were open.
Seems like a year ago. At this point.
It does feel like a year ago. I'm sure most people agree. In general in their lives.
I reached the end of the internet last night.
Now you're just looking at the Google. You're just looking at Google's main screen now.
I went onto YouTube to
changes
watch
every
stuff
day.
as I fall asleep, like I always do, and I didn't have anything I wanted. I couldn't find anything intelligent to watch.
So I saw there was a whole family, right? They came in, they wanted to try everything, so they're like, we'll just do a whole flight. And they did the same conversation very quick. We were busy, but there was a quick like, all right, well, these are the styles we sort of all are interested in. So it was like, all right, we got a little bit of everything. They all took maybe a sip, 2 sips each of the whole flight, which are 5-ounce pours. So they might have left at least half of a glass left. Once again, before the Corona thingy. So it was before people couldn't share stuff. So it's probably a month ago. But nonetheless, after I do my PSA, they then left the whole thing, but they all came back up to the bar and they stayed for like 3-4 rounds. I mean, but that rest of that was a whole pint left behind. No pint left behind. Maybe that's what we should label them. Bill's laughing at me, not with me.
I want to make that T-shirt.
No pint left behind.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe that'll be our Hammock Life, the first Hammock Life T-shirt.
Ooh.
So anyway, so I've seen that. Like
like
I've
that
seen
idea.
that where people like what Bill was saying was like the quick just I want to sip. Okay, now I want that pint. Which I don't know. I just go for a pint. It can't be that bad. I mean, I don't care where I am.
Or I mean, in that circumstance, just ask for a couple samples, because we'll give you a couple samples without charging.
I don't know any brewery. I mean, I know some like bars, but
I know
what
some
brewery?
restaurants that won't give restaurants that won't give samples. But breweries, for the most part, if you ask for a quick sample just to see if you like it, the answer's going to be
Even
yes.
stubborn people that are like, let me try every single one, but they make you run back and forth every time. We'll still do it.
Right.
It's a little annoying, but we'll do it.
But they always end up ordering a pint, so it's fine.
Oh, I had that one couple that didn't do that once.
That's true. That I remember.
It was like right when we opened, they're like, "Oh, let me try everything," and that was right when Untap was still massive, and they checked in every single one less than 1 ounce pour, and then they left and didn't buy anything.
That wasn't the example I was thinking of.
I know.
There was one when I was here.
That's
that
my
I
favorite.
remember.
That was my favorite. I'm like, whatever. But like it or not, I don't even remember what the ratings were. I don't care. At the time, I guess I cared, but they could have been like all 5 stars. Like, how can you rate a beer with less than a sip? Like, come on.
Yeah, Untapped.
Julian's like the
Untapped
quietest.
is
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
sure. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on, wait, no.
Wait.
His microphone is not muted, so I don't
Here,
know. What
wait.
it
I
is.
got Julian. That's what you sound like.
I don't know. Everybody's making points that I was gonna make, and then I'm kind of left with nothing at this point.
I can't hear you.
I think we're going off the rails here. The keyboard's out. It's bad.
So I guess Julian, since we all made your points for you, I guess we can go around and like final thought. Do you?
I mean, my final thought is that I completely disagree that flights should die in a dirty dumpster fire.
I was gonna say too. You have a sale. Like he always gives a sales perspective. People are expecting this.
Well,
from a sales perspective.
Listen,
what do you think, Julian?
I need a cutscene for that.
As a consumer, like I was saying, I appreciate flights because I don't often get a chance to go out and visit a lot of brewery tap rooms out there. I'm on the road all the time, and when I do get to a brewery, it's mostly here
right
to hang
now.
out at the tap room, and it's definitely not right now. So on the rare occasion that I do get out there and I do get to try something new, I'm probably the one who's driving, and I definitely want to try a few things that brewery has to offer. So for me, I like a flight or half pours. You know, if they offer a half pour, absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. So
Not a
if
full pour.
those short pours or half pours are similarly priced to a flight,
Absolutely. If the option was there, I'd order half pour by half pour. But I like to order a flight because I can pick the ones that I want. Generally, I assume it's a four in a flight. You know, some people do five, some people
some are
do
five.
six.
yeah, it
Some are-
depends on where.
But for
you
me,
go, but,
I
yeah.
feel like a flight is a really good. I can order 3 or 4 different styles of beer, and sit down, and I drink them one by one, and I drink them in the order that I think that the brewer would recommend. I don't actually ask that question because thankfully I'm an informed consumer, but I like to sit down.
We use that very loosely.
That's another hot take.
It's on the wheel. Julian, an informed. Julian,
you pay me.
Julian, the informed consumer.
I mean, it could be a hot take. I might lead in with that now next week.
so I think overall,
On another note, I'm not here next week.
yeah. So I think my view after this conversation hasn't really changed, but my wording of it is definitely skewed. I think
Dumpsters should burn.
they
flights.
shouldn't die. I just think that short pours being available should overtake flights being available.
I'm 100% with you on that one. I think a short pour is a better option to sample the beers that a brewery offers. It's just kind of an extended flight.
Well, believe it or not, in my travels, I discovered last year, a lot of breweries outside of Connecticut are going the wayside of flights and going
yeah?
just short pours. Prime example, I went to Ocelot down outside of D.C. a couple of years back.
Next time
and
you go there, tell them I love them.
They're fantastic.
Okay.
And a couple of years back, they had like the coolest flight paddle ever, and I was actually looking forward to it last year when we stopped. And we go in, and we're like, we want to get a flight. And they're like, we don't do that anymore. Like, what do you mean you don't do that anymore? And they gave.
You must buy 12 short pours.
Yeah, well, no, the main reasons they gave were, to help with the staffing. These flights do take a while.
Yeah.
There is a lot of waste when pouring a flight at times.
Glassware too. I mean, if you
Yeah.
buy a short
Yeah.
pour
You gotta.
versus a flight, there's 4 out versus 1.
Yeah, exactly. So and I'm sure the flight glass is something that is a lot easier to disappear.
They have
Oh.
legs. They
Yeah.
walk.
They find their way
Glassware
into
never disappears from a brewery. What are you
No.
talking about?
those small glasses find their way into pockets and purses.
Remember the
very-
time we had
very
like 27
easily.
cases of glasses and then disappeared in 5 seconds?
We just got to switch to all plastic.
It's gonna be booby trapped. We need like pint glasses like those like the carriages at
The
Stop and
shopping
Shop.
carts.
When you go beyond the parking lot, it somehow breaks.
Anyone watching this, please don't steal glassware from a brewery.
We'll sell it to
It
you.
is horrible to do. It costs us a lot of money to keep replenishing. It's just not
We don't need it
cool.
now, though.
Please don't do it.
We don't need it now, right now, though.
That's true. You can have it now.
You can steal it
Yeah,
now.
come back. We don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, next month when we open back up, where the fuck did all
All
the
right, guys.
glass go?
Like the video and bring back the glassware.
But smash that like button
Mm-hmm.
and hit the little bell to subscribe
That's true.
and listen to the audio podcast. And if you're hungry, go to Do Drop In Derby, Connecticut for wings.
I wasn't done with it. I
Love
was
the
going to say my
dewdrop.
last closing
Oh
thought,
yeah,
though.
Kevin still got to go.
I never go in.
I got hungry, so
Way
I
to go,
brought up
Pat.
food.
All I was going to say was, as far as, like, I've already said my sort of piece. My only thing, from an industry standpoint, is that I think that all of us around these barrels can say, if I were to order a flight, like I mentioned before, and probably with a group of people, I'm also not ordering that flight when it's busy.
Oh, 100%.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like if I've ever been to a spot and like, oh man, it's swamp. Give me like either I'll ask the bartender what I should get if I don't know what I'm looking at. I've never been there before, or there's not a style that's popping out me initially. You're like, hey, what are you guys known for? But I think that's one thing. Like we're also skewed because we're in the industry,
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say it's not as easy for everyone to do that because
Right.
they don't know what it's like on the other
Right.
side
If
of
it's-
that counter.
right.
We're more in tune with that. So when we see things going on, we're gonna shift how we order based on.
You mean
that,
you
but-
don't like filling 5 flights when there's 30 people waiting for
Well,
beer?
I mean, I respect that from a customer side, but as someone that's in the industry, like you just realize that you don't want to fill those, so I'm not going to make them do it. You know,
Is that why you were randomly bussing glasses at the last brewery we visited together?
I always bust classes everywhere.
it's common courtesy.
I know they need these back.
I can't stop when I'm here. When am I going to stop anywhere
That's
else?
fair.
So I mean, come on, it's not fair to them. Like I'm just earning my keep being a customer. Hey, that was my only 2 cents.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I
is
liked your
dude-
I
is-
liked your food drop
Is
though
dude,
because we
he like your dude drop?
dude the dude drop.
Dude drop. Are they doing? Are they open for
That's
takeout?
something
Do you know or
different
no?
in house.
Think so.
I would assume they are.
I mean, they did a pretty good takeout business before this whole
Yeah, yeah.
pandemic. So
we
I'm-
didn't pre-research
Yeah, we
this,
didn't look
but
this one up.
we'll
I'm
throw
a-
the link on Facebook
Yeah,
anyway.
they're right down the street from Bad Sons.
That's what I was
So
gonna
you
say.
should
They are,
definitely get some wings to go at Dewdrop, pop over to Bad Sons, get some beer to go, support local, drink local.
I don't know if they still do it. Also, you can look this up when they're open again. I know Bad Sons. There's a certain night Dewdrop will deliver.
Wednesdays.
Wednesday
Wing-
nights.
Wing Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
So
deliver.
probably in like 2072.
Yeah.
Right.
They'll
Once we're
deliver
cleared
over
from this.
to Bad Sons if you're visiting. them.
If this goes that long, there will not be people walking the earth to drink the beer. So
In
We're just gonna
2072,
drink everything in the tanks and hope for the best.
There's a lot of nutrition in the tanks.
You guys ready?
yeah.
I am never ready for this.
Seems a little low, Pat.
Hmm?
Crank that fucker up. There we go. There we go.
Until next time.
Keep living that hammock life, guys.